Here.
Member Lopez, Member Vice Chair Carr,
Here.
Members Wallen,
Here.
Scutia Brayton,
Here.
Member Wright,
Here.
Member Graham,
Here.
Member Gilbert,
Here.
alternate member Roque,
Here.
Member Hernandez,
Here.
Member Phillips, Member Gokin,
Here.
and Caltrans. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Cindy. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next on the agenda is public comment. Members of the public may address the policy board on any item not on the agenda. Comment shall be limited to 3 minutes. Anybody have public comment about items not on the agenda? Come on up, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. For those who don't know me, my name is Stephen Morrow, and I serve on the Stanislaus Regional Transit Authority Board as the citizen member. But tonight I'm more speaking as a rather discouraged taxpayer. Mr. Chairman and member of this board, I'm very troubled on what has been going on at this agency. StanCog does great work coordinating the transit needs of our county, and this is due to your leadership and the efforts of the staff. And the staff doesn't get enough credit for all they do for our county. But the financial administration of this agency is out of control. You, as the policy board, are responsible for this, and brutal changes need to be made, and you must lead the way. We all recognize that travel for meetings, conventions are necessary for us to get new ideas from our colleagues around the country so that the agency can run better. But working for an agency or serving on a board does not entitle us to go on luxury joyrides at taxpayer expense. If you must fly at public expense, you fly coach, period. If you want to go first class, you pay for it out of your own pocket. Now, when we travel out of town, we also have to stay at hotels. Staying at the same hotel that the meeting or convention is being held usually gets you a preferred rate, so that's what the agency should pay. If you want to stay at a luxury hotel, pay for it out of your own pocket. Rent-a-cars have been another issue that has been brought up in the grand jury report as well as in the press. We all know that we need to rent cars when we go travel out of town. But there is zero reason for this agency to pay for anything other than an economy car. If you want an SUV or a luxury vehicle, it comes out of your own pocket, not the public's. For example, and in contrast, I have the travel expenses for the last fiscal year for the RTA. The total spending on rent-a-cars last year was $1,251.04. Granted, we're a small agency, but that's how we try to stretch our budget dollars. What I suggest here this evening is just a baseline to start the discussion for reforms. There's plenty of room for discussion on how we can fix this agency's problems, but it is quite clear that changes are needed, and you as the policy board must lead the way. There are mass transit and road projects that need to be coordinated for the good of all of the folks of this county, and we got to get past this administrative mess and get the people's work done. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening.
Thank you, Stephen. Any other public comment about items not on the agenda? Anything online? No online. We're going to be closing public comment and moving to presentation. Bike Month campaign update, Jean Folletta.
Yes, thank you, Chair Condon. So I'm happy today to talk to you about our May is Bike Month campaign. We ran it in May, and we're here now because we are dark in July. We have June to capture all the numbers, and then July we're dark. So this is annually when we give away our e-bike. And so that's what we'll be doing this evening, is giving away an e-bike. Next slide, please. And the grand prize winner is Jimmy Taylor, if you don't mind standing up. Jimmy Taylor uses his bike primarily to go to work each day, and I think will be very happy with his e-bike, which should be coming through the door any second. Hello, e-bike, where we are, yeah. Yeah, Shannon should have it.
We're out riding it.
Yeah, making sure it works. But it's been sized and everything for Jimmy. Here we come. Here we come, Chair Condon. Yeah. So I would like Chair Condon to come forward and present the bike to Jimmy, and then he can go start a riding.
Jimmy, come get on the thing. See if that fits you, buddy. Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely. I was in the office earlier today and almost jumped off, took it off on for a ride. They would let it. Congratulations. Breaking it yet, long enough.
And I'd invite you if you want to say anything, or you don't have to, but if you wanted to, Jim.
As someone who does bike to work almost every day, I can say I see motorists ignoring traffic laws and endangering me on a pretty much daily basis. Our bike infrastructure could be improved. Biggest thing is the way we count a painted line on the road saying there's a bike lane as bike infrastructure. That does not protect me at all from a car, especially when I'm on roads that drivers are doing 40 miles an hour down. And that is my biggest thing. My wife will ride with me, and she is terrified to ride by her own self on most of our bike infrastructure. We really need to update and use like level 3 bike lanes, the whole segregated bike lanes. On roads that are wide enough, I'd say start putting it to where parked cars are the barrier, and then the bike lane is in the gutter or in the curb. That right there provides a whole new level of safety just for a cyclist not being right next to traffic.
Thank you for your comment. Congratulations.
City you live in?
Turlock.
Turlock?
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the consent calendar. Any member like to pull and discuss anything on consent? Seeing none, is there any comments from the public about any item on consent? Anything online? I'll bring it back to the board and ask for a motion.
Move to approve the consent calendar.
I have a first
Second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, discussion, State Route 132 West update, Tony Harris. Welcome, Tony.
Good evening. Chair and board members, pleasure to be back to give you an update. I think the last time I gave you an update was at the February board meeting, and a lot has happened on the project. So the team has been doing an amazing job and working. Next slide, please. Just to refresh for everyone, this is what the project is basically creating an expressway from 99 out to Gates Paradise, and it basically would create a freeway to freeway interchange at 99 132, which will remove traffic off of existing 132 on Mace Boulevard. Next slide. Previously, the board approved a phase delivery approach for the project. What you have in front of you is the logos for the different phases. Up at the middle at the top is Dakota to State Route 99, which was completed and opened up by the city of Modesto. Where you see shaded out in gray are currently those segments that the team is currently working on design right-of-way permitting, which would be basically to extend the two-lane section from Dakota out to Gates and to complete the freeway interchange at 99. Next, please. So Gates to Dakota, this project is two-lane expressway. It will extend from Dakota to Gates. It will have overcrosses at Hart Road and overcrossing at Dakota, and it will connect into the existing 132 with a roundabout at Gates Road. Next, please. And this is the interchange. The interchange will provide freeway to freeway connections directly from 99 to and from the south. It will also reconstruct the Kansas Avenue interchange. So it's actually two interchanges within one, is why I like to refer to it. Next. So where are we? As I said, right now on Dakota to Gates and interchange, we are doing final design, permitting, and right-of-way acquisitions. Next. In the next slides, I'm going to start talking about the status of each one of these. So for Gates to Dakota, the design, we have completed the 95% PSNE package, and we have completed the review with the county and Caltrans. We have that comments back. We're currently working through the comments, and our target is to have 100% plans and specification completed by January of 2026. We are actively working with the Modesto Irrigation District and property owners on utilities, irrigation adjustments needs to be out there, because one of the things we have to do is get agreements in place before we go to construction. Next, please. As for permitting, we are updating the air quality conformity report to reflect the phasing approach that I presented to you. We'll be going to the Interagency Conformity Committee for that approval. We targeted October. We are submitted our application to get the Regional Water Quality Board permit in October, and we are targeting these agreements I mentioned with MID for October this fall as well. Next. The interchange. We are targeting completing the 95% plan specification estimate for that in October this year. Once we complete that, we will submit those to the city of Modesto, the county, and Caltrans for their review. We are coordinating and working with the city on how to address the right-of-way needs and impacts to the city's corporation yard, which is probably the largest impact from a right-of-way perspective for the interchange project. The interchange project also has multiple drainage basins and pump stations. And so we're coordinating that, which makes it very complex, and working closely with Caltrans on those. And we have initiated coordination with utility companies on relocation. Next. Right-of-way acquisitions. So the data I have in front of you is based upon probably about 2 weeks ago when I put this together. And so we have continued to make progress. So on Gates to Dakota, there are 24 acquisitions needed. And we basically have completed 18 of the appraisals at the time we put this together. I will tell you that as I stand here today, 21 of those appraisals have been completed. This just shows how fast things are starting to move. 14 offers have been presented to property owners. We are prepared to actually present another 5 this week and next week. So we're making progress in making those offers. And then there's 2 residential relocations that are needed, and there's 1 business one that's needed. For the interchange, there are 43 acquisitions needed. 32 of the appraisals have been completed. We have made 16 offers. We're in the process of making an additional 3 offers beyond what I show here. We have 7 agreement with owners for the acquisitions. There are 28 residential relocations that are needed, and there are 6 businesses in this effort. Next, please. For community engagement, we are planning another public open house. It is scheduled for the Central Catholic High School and is scheduled for October 2nd at 5:30. The information was included in a recent newsletter that went out so that we wanted to inform. And the purpose of that will be to provide an update to the overall public about the project itself. We continue to refine and update the project website and fact sheet, and at the end of the presentation, you'll see a QR code if anyone wants to get a quick link to it. We are working to update constantly on social media about the project. And we are beginning to participate in some different presentation community events. I had the pleasure of presenting to the Farm Bureau back in March. Outreach team has gone to several different events, such as the Modesto Earth Day, Farmers Market, and Asher will be out and a few other events coming up. We continuously receive inquiries about the project, and our objective is to be responsive as quick as possible so that people stay informed. And we published our first newsletter that went out electronically, and hopefully all of you received it. If you did, let me know. I want to make sure you received it. Next. So, where are we going from here? For Gates to Dakota, you see the term ready to list. And I'm sure Caltrans knows what ready to list, but ready to list basically means we have everything completed so you can advertise for construction. So our target for Gates to Dakota is to achieve that by March or April of 2026 next year. The critical path to get there is the right-of-way acquisitions, which is what we're focused on to move forward. Um, the California Transportation Commission, and you probably are aware, they approved construction funding for the project. That construction funding is targeted to go to the commission at either their May or June meeting. And I'm saying May or June because I got to get through right away first before we can go and get the construction allocation. With that, the project will be able to be advertised to contractors by Stancog, and with the water contract, begin construction in December 2026. Currently, we estimate it is about a 2.5 or so year construction time for the project. The interchange with the schedule we're working towards, we can achieve ready to list by November 2026. The dates I list there for begin construction and construction is when the project technically could be ready. The critical path on that is going to be construction funded. That's where we move forward. Next, please. So Gates Dakota, the estimated construction costs, $77 million. Caltrans and Stancog jointly submitted a trade court enhancement application to the Transportation Commission. The commission approved that for 67 million, and as I stated before, it needs to have construction allocated before June 30th, 2026. The balance of construction is funded with Measure L funds, so it is actually fully funded for construction as we move forward. When the Data Commission approved the funding, I had a meeting with the team, and I actually congratulated the team on the work they've been doing, but basically said, now we need to do better because we got the money, so let's go ahead and get it out to construction. Next, please. The interchange, the estimated construction costs on the interchange, because it's 2 interchange within one, it's got basins. Uh, we need to identify construction funding. The estimated cost currently as we speak is 256 million. Potential sources, federal, state sources potentially is some of the same SB1 programs we talked about, and then Measure L funds as well. Next. When I was here in February, I was asked the question about how is this Gates roundabout going to work? I can't really envision it, and I promised that the next time I came, I would show you an example. So what we have here is a real life example in Arizona on US 93. It is an expressway that has a roundabout for an intersection. So you'll see traffic comes into it, and if you go to the next slide, you show their signage and different elements or the design to actually slow down the traffic as they enter the roundabout. This similar concept is what we're working with as the Gates to Dakota project, and we've gone through the analysis with Caltrans, and we all fully expect it to work operationally and safely. So, next. So, next steps. One of the next steps is we will need to come back to the policy board in September. Um, the California Transportation Commission requires recipients of funding to enter into what they are labeled as baseline agreements. Those baseline agreements have to be signed by the Transportation Commission, Caltrans, and StanCog. And with the program being adopted in June, the CTC has a target of getting all baseline agreements executed within 6 months. So they will be on the agenda at their December meeting. Normally, the recipient signs first. And so we will be coming forth to you to present that baseline agreement and request authority to enter into it with Caltrans and the CTC. What it does is it commits to a schedule. It also has language in it to talk about how you will address cost increases if they were to happen when you get into construction. The other point is I need to come back and give a more detailed update on right of way on State Route 132. A lot is moving, a lot is happening. I fully expect, as I said before about Gates to Dakota, right of way acquisition is critical path. In order to achieve ready to list, it's looking like that we will need to begin to come to the board with several resolution necessities this fall. September, October, November timeframe. That doesn't mean we stop negotiation. It just means we have to start that process so that we have access to the properties to get that ready to list target of next year along the way. Next, please. In addition to that, we have to begin to prepare for construction of Gates to Dakota. And as such, a construction management consultant firm needs to be hired. We need to initiate the procurement process to basically bring on board a construction management consultant firm to basically, on behalf of StanCog, provide inspection, oversight of the contractor when we get there in particular. That can be funded out of the funds that was awarded by the Transportation Commission along with the Measure L Max. So definitely. And again, the public open house, October 2nd. And we also need to begin to work on the funding strategy for the interchange project as we move forward. So my next slide, this is a reminder as project information. Please go to the website, stateroute132west.com. We constantly are updating information. We have the project timeline. We put documents from public meetings. I think the website's already promoting the upcoming open house meeting. So with that, I will pause and take any questions.
Any questions for Tony?
Hey, Tony, if you work backwards on the date, I know you said September, October, November, we have to do the resolutions of necessity, but when's the outside date? When's the drop dead in order to make June of 26?
So the critical path is getting on the court calendar. It takes 3 to 4 months to get on the court calendar. So to me, the drop dead is November.
November.
All right. And so to go through that process, we have offers out there where several has had them for months. And we have others just going out now. All right. That so we want to put those things in place and continue to negotiate so that we can meet that drop dead date because it's the critical pass is the court. So right now.
And this does not, you say that because I know we've done these on North County Corridor and people come in and they're not happy under some circumstance, but it doesn't ever stop the process of going to court and trying to come up with a value for the property. But this is a timeline so that we can build on time.
That is correct. And what the resolution necessity is, You're adopting a finding saying that this property is needed for the project. You're not basically adopting a price or compensation. That's a different process altogether. So this allows us to continue to move forward.
Thank you.
Question regarding the public open house meeting on October 2nd, is, are all the people that are going to be affected, businesses and residents within the Dakota to Gates area, as well as the interchange, were they all personally invited to the meeting, or what does that look like? How did the invitation? go
What
out?
what we have established is we have established a mailing list that we have been assembling for almost 3 years now. And the newsletter went out to all of them. And also Prozio, our engagement consultant, I will make sure that we send out again electronically a additional notice. So we want people to come.
Yeah.
Is what we want. So definitely.
All right, thank you.
I have one more request. This is probably of staff because at Measure L, we have the 16 projects, regional projects, but I don't remember how much we used on the first phase and what's left, including the inflation index. Because you're asking for 10 million on the Dakota to Gates. I know we have $10 million in the bank, but when we start talking about the interchange and other things that are going to come fairly quickly, potentially fairly quickly, we need to know what's left in the measure that's available so that we can start working on a financing plan as a board. And that really comes back to our strategic plan that we haven't seen since Steve had left Vandenberg. So we just need to put that picture together for us.
We last updated the strategic plan last fall, 2024, I believe.
Yeah, but we need to see the money that's come in that's available.
Any other questions, for Tony? Tara?
No questions, just Tony, just the usual praise I'm going to give you. I just can't believe how far this has come in such a short period of time, and a ton of the credit is to you and your team. So I just, again, just amazed what you're doing here, and just keep going, and very much appreciate all your hard work. So
Thank you very much, and I will pass it on to the team.
Any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, I'll bring it back. It's just an update. Oh, we do. How you doing, Kevin? It's like the third day in a row, man. I've seen you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Excuse my ignorance, but I'm a little bit confused as to what exactly this is. Are we talking about the interchange between Needham and, or between Kansas Avenue and Dakota? That single lane freeway that is in existence now, or you're talking about expanding that or widening it? Is that what you're talking about?
Tony, you want to come up and
And then also I have a whole lot of other questions too. I mean, can I,
you want to get them all out?
yeah, I mean, okay, I mean, well, okay. Okay, so that's my first question. And then also, are you talking about, he was talking about that he's made offers to property owners. So I'm inferring from that he's going to be widening that interchange that is in existence now. And I'm wondering what streets are involved in this. I know Dakota's involved. Prouty, is Prouty Avenue one of the streets that's involved? And also, is it going to be eminent domain? If some of the people don't want to sell, then are they going to utilize eminent domain and force them to sell? How expansive is this project going to be? I mean, I thought that we were trying to preserve the integrity of Wood Colony. It doesn't sound to me like we're keeping in, that spirit. It sounds like we're putting in a major freeway here that is not going to protect the integrity of Wood Colony at all. And also, he mentioned something about a roundabout, and there was a 30-mile-per-hour sign. I have personally seen cars going about 95 miles an hour on that interchange, and I'm I'm just picturing them suddenly coming up to a 30-mile-per-hour sign for a roundabout. I'm anticipating a lot of rear-end collisions. It- it's a single lane road, and then all of a sudden you're coming up to a 30-mile-per-hour sign, so you're gonna have a lot of cars slamming on their brakes and a lot of rear-end collisions. So maybe I'm just picturing it wrong, but maybe I just need to be updated on this, but I'm confused. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And there's probably going to be a lot of information on the website that you could probably look at. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, just a couple points to point out is to help clarify, we will be extending that one lane freeway that exists out there today. So we will extend that from Dakota to Gates in particular. And the right of way I was talking about is acquiring the right of way to extend that out to Gates. The one lane freeway you see there today, we're not buying right of way in that area because where that connects to 99 right now, it doesn't do a direct connection. It doesn't have a full freeway. So at 99 and where that one lane freeway is, there is some adjoining property around that area that we need to acquire so we can build the freeway.
Thank you, Tony. Go ahead, Vito.
So Kevin, just so you know, the right-of-way for this expansion 132 alignment was purchased back, the vast majority of the parcels were back in the 60s. So that was 60 some years ago. We're doing the cleanup parcels, which are depending on, they didn't envision how they were going to do interchanges, how they were going to do on-ramps and off-ramps. Because Dakota doesn't have access currently, that's the ability to preserve the Wood Colony area, so it doesn't allow access. They're just going to go under the freeway at that point, right? It's under,
It's going to go over.
over the top, I'm sorry. And yes, they will, if property has to be acquired, if they can't come to a financial settlement, it will be through the eminent domain process, which is what he was speaking about. The resolution of necessity starts that process. And then they can continue to negotiate and hopefully come to an agreement. I think on North County Corridor, we probably, there's maybe a couple outstanding, but we came to financial agreements without ending up in court on pretty much every one of them.
And Kevin, we can talk about it some more afterwards, but with regard to Wood Colony, there was a conscious effort to, and one of the things we made sure was in there that there was no access off of the freeway at Dakota. So as it is right now, a ton of traffic comes off of 132, turns at Dakota, and works its way through the Wood Colony area, trying to get their way to wherever, over towards the mall, to the neighborhoods over there. And so that won't be available anymore. It's just, there should be a substantial reduction in traffic in the Wood Colony area. I think the only access will be, actually Hart Road will be the only one off. But anyway, we can talk and even go out there and check it out sometime, Kevin, if you want. So, thank you.
Any other public comment? Anything online? Okay. Going to informational items. I hope everybody's had a chance to look at all the informational items. If there's any questions? Okay. Manny, did you?
Request to the chair to just adjourn the agenda for a moment. I want to make a request. I know we're going to be making a recommendation to the policy board in the closed session about a possible ad hoc committee recommendation. To err on the side of caution, I'd like to expand the scope of the closed session agenda regarding employee personnel matter. I feel that that's going to be inevitable, that it's going to come up in the conversation, and I don't want to have any issues with any Brown Act violations or anything. So I thought it would be appropriate to ask the policy board if we could expand the agenda to add an item regarding employee personnel matter. And based on my own, and the general counsel can agree or let me give me guidance, but if there's a situation that requires immediate action and wasn't known in advance, a legislative body can add the item to the agenda with a 2/3 vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Member Graywell, for your comment and request for that item. So the Brown Act does have a procedure for adding an item to the agenda, and the requirements as you identified, it has to come to the agency's attention after the agenda was posted, and it has to require immediate action. What that means, though, in terms of requiring immediate action, is that there is no opportunity to call a special meeting to address the item, that it is something that needs to be resolved today. I'm happy to discuss with you when we adjourn to the other closed session to have further conversation, but I don't believe that that item fits that criteria. Again, I'm happy to discuss it with you and we can see if it meets that criteria, but I do believe for that item, we would have the ability to call a special meeting, so it wouldn't meet the requirement.
Good. Okay. Caltrans report. Grace, it's great to have you here. Hold on just a second, Grace. Yeah, can you move the microphone over just the Kaylee? Yeah, thank you.
As an update, the California Transportation Commission met last week, and they approved $3 billion in projects to enhance safety and mobility across the state highway system. Now, for specific to Stanislaus County, we allocated a $7 million project to construct new transportation management system elements, widen highway shoulders to accommodate semi-truck turning, radius, rehabilitate pavement, repair drainage systems, and replace highway signs. And this project is located at State Route 33, State Route 140, and State Route 165, and also I-5. It's in 2 counties, but it's in Merced and Stanislaus County. So that project should be starting construction here within the next few months. The second project in Stanislaus County was also part of that $3 billion allocation, $321,000 to support the Stanislaus County Council of Governments Church Street Mobility Enhancement Project along State Route 132 in this county. Some news about funding opportunities. The Clean California Community Cleanup and Workforce Development Grant Program is being kicked off. There will be a call for projects. This is a $25 million program. It's competitive, and it's for locally led litter abatement on local right-of-way. We did actually meet with members of your community, Paul Van Konynenberg, and a couple other business owners. Their interest was to finding out how we can partner to help beautify State Route 99 along Modesto, within Modesto. And this was something that we had brought up, that this might be something they would be interested in working with the city of Modesto with. It is a competitive program, and it's only $25 million statewide. So I would recommend that if there is an interest, is that we go ahead and submit our applications as soon as possible. Let's see here. FTA, Enhanced Mobility for Seniors and Individuals with Disabilities Program. It's a call for applications. The intention is to fund removal of barriers to transportation services and expanding the transportation mobility options available. This program provides grant funds for capital, mobility management, and operating expenses. The available funding is $30.5 million, and the deadline to submit applications is September 3, 2025. And this is mostly for public agencies that coordinate transportation services. And just as a news also from our headquarters partners, as you know, we have a new director, Director El Tawansi. And this coming month, our chief deputy will be retiring. So I'm hoping that at the next time that I am here with you, I will be reporting on the new chief deputy for Caltrans. And that concludes my report today.
Thank you, Grace. Any questions for Grace from the board?
I have a question. How do we go about applying for that funding to reduce blight on Highway 99?
So there are multiple avenues, and we actually we're in the process of doing more conversations and brainstorming on how we could do this together. We have had discussions with Elizabeth a few months ago. There are grant opportunities. We also have programs in the district that we may be able to utilize, granted that there is a need, an asset that we need to address. So there are a multitude of opportunities we can do that with. We could partner with the city of Modesto. There's also the Adopt a Highway. So there are several things, and we are at the kind of the beginning stages of brainstorming. But just as a way of, some news for State Route 99 through Modesto, we actually are planning to perform what we call major maintenance in the next month or so. And that major maintenance will address any drainage issues, any culverts that are clogged up, fencing that has been damaged, graffiti. So it's really a big effort from our maintenance crews to focus their energy on a certain segment. And that segment for Modesto is going to be worked on the next month. I want to say within 2 to 3 weeks, we will start.
All right, thank you. I know we've been advocating for this to happen, so that's really good news. And if we can have discussions about how to apply for that funding.
I can share the Clean California grant. I can share some, right now I just have draft guidelines. They're in the process, or headquarters is in the process of finalizing those guidelines. But I'd be happy to share the draft because I don't envision big changes, into the final.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Carried.
Hey, Grace, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I meant to call you on this, but then when I see you, it reminded me. It's just we talked about those K-rails
Yes.
on 132. And I know there were some studies being done, and it's wondered where that all stood.
So we do have I believe we have what we would call a medium-term improvement and then a long-term improvement. The medium term it's going to be spot locations where we would look at putting up barriers, and that is going to be, it just got initiated, if I recall. So it's this fiscal year, but it will take at least a year for the minor project to be developed and get cleared to go to construction.
And so that's going to be at the curves. I don't know if you're familiar with.
Specific locations based on the studies that was completed. So there are, from what I understand, it's not the entire segment that we talked about, but it is at specific locations where most accidents are concentrated.
Is that something can I see? Can you?
I can probably provide you the details, the locations.
Perfect. That helped me with a lot of questions that are being asked. So that's great. Thanks, Grace.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Grace, for that report. It's been my understanding that in the past, when Caltrans has funding opportunities associated with beautification, it must be associated with an existing construction project. But does this Clean Community Program provides an exception to that? It could be a standalone beautification program. Beautiful. Excellent.
So it's the program, and I don't have the program guidelines, but it's basically cleaning up public right-of-ways,
And
same as the old Clean California program.
But it does not have to be in association with an existing construction
No.
program. Lovely. Thank you.
Any other comments from the policy board or questions? Any public comment? Anything online? Okay. Thank you, Grace, for being here and all the updates. Interim Executive Director, Elizabeth Hahn.
Anyway, very excited to announce that today is Franklin Wong's, our new manager of financial services, first day working at StanCog. Mr. Wong comes with a great deal of experience, having served at the City of Los Altos, Trans-Bay Joint Powers Authority, and Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority. In fact, he was the Chief Financial Officer at Trans-Bay Joint Powers Authority, which is quite impressive. He has a very strong educational background as well, with several master's degrees, including an MBA from Berkeley. Anyway, we're really, really excited to have Mr. Wong here, and he's standing up right now, so you can see him. And Frank, would you like to say something?
Look forward to work.
Franklin, come on up to the mic.
I look forward to work with all of you, in the forthcoming months and hopefully years as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Franklin, it's good to have you.
And if you could, there's a photo that I've got here. You could, the IT. There you go. I also just wanted to mention that on July 8th, the representatives from Caltrans, Stanislaus County, LAFCO, and StanCog gathered for a groundbreaking ceremony for North County Corridor, and I heard it was a hit. Members Wallen, Hernandez, Withrow, Kesa, and Chair Condit, I believe they all spoke, and I heard that they had a lot of good things to say and very moving stories as well. Also, Gene Folletta and Tony Harris attended, representing StanCog. And I just wanted to congratulate the county on being able to advance this project to groundbreaking. I think it's really, really impressive. It's a massive project, but they've thoughtfully broke it up into phases. And we're just very happy for them and for the region. I know this is going to be a huge benefit to the region. So.
If you haven't seen it out there, they're really working. They haven't closed Roselle yet, but a lot of the big trucks and tractors and scrapers are already out there moving dirt. So it's well on its way.
Thank you.
Member reports. Any, go ahead, man. Oh, I thought you hit your button.
I did. I just wanted to make sure nobody else had it. So that I don't want to be the only one. Well, I made a request for the closed session item, and obviously we saw the general counsel say that it wasn't appropriate. So then I'll bring it up in my member reports. Many of you are aware that there was a PRA request that was made last week, and the result of the PRA request came to my attention today. Apologize for that. The PRA request results were made public, I want to say on Thursday. By the time my staff came and picked up the flash drive, it was Friday. I was gone for the weekend dropping off my daughter to college, so didn't get a chance to look at it. Did get a chance to look at them today. I thought many things in that PRA request that came out not only for members of the policy board, but members of the staff that came are truly concerning to me. And that's why I wanted to add that as something we could have discussed in closed session. But since that request wasn't approved, I feel that if we don't have the priorities of addressing all the issues that came out in the PRA request, then something's not right with our priorities. I feel if we don't have public trust, you heard from a member of the public today addressing some of those concerns. And if not, we're not willing to have decisive, quick, swift actions on any of those allegations and have those conversations. And anytime that we are asked, there's this level of bureaucracy that's pushed that says, you have to do this, you have to do this. And again, in this situation, I feel that just like I had stated in our previous discussion, that I think timing is of the essence to gain back public trust. And so if it calls for a special meeting, I'd like to request right now from the policy board that we have a special meeting as soon as possible to address this concern, because I feel if we put this off till next month's meeting, we're doing a disservice to ourselves and the taxpayers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manny. Any other comments?
Just that I would echo my colleagues' sentiment, and I would also encourage for a special meeting as soon as possible.
Thank you, Chance. Rachel?
A little bit off topic, but attended or chaired the VVS meeting, which is a Valley Vision Stanislaus meeting last week. It's been all a blur, but and just if you don't know, long-range planning document that provides a framework for investments of road, freeways, and public transit for our COG as a whole. So you'll get that information forthcoming. I think the biggest takeaway was the expanded public engagement plan. So there's going to be a series of public forums, visits to community-based organizations, and different conversations. And similar to the 132 Interchange is a website that's going to be having constant updates. It's a flexible document that's really going to listen to the community's needs and meet people where they're at so that we get the input necessary. And related here as a point of privilege, I want to, during the first 2 minutes of the meeting, we had an unfortunate event. There was a a Zoom bombing. If you all recall in 2021, there's a lot of Zoom meetings that were being hacked. Unfortunately, a lot of racist remarks, interrupting the meeting. And I think there's going to be a lot of temporary fixes going back to all the going ons with StanCog. A lot of temporary fixes I would like to talk to my colleagues about to look for long-term solutions and keep the work going. And just want to thank the staff for all they're doing.
Go ahead.
I also would like to be the third policy member to suggest that we, on an urgent timeframe, have a special meeting. And would love for us to decide today what that date is. What has been our past practice is that we are provided just a couple days' notice, and many of us have other items that we are unable to reschedule and therefore are unable to attend this special meeting. So since we have the preponderance of policy board members here today, I'm hoping that we could agree on a time today.
I am the fourth policy board member that agrees with that statement as well.
Is there still a chance for it to happen in this closed session after you? That's the way that I interpreted what you said, is there's still a chance that.
Well, if I may, I'd like an opportunity, perhaps when we adjourn to closed session, but before actually starting the closed session, if I may have a conversation with Member Graywall to further understand his request, and then we can revisit that.
All right. Any others?
So, I just want to make a comment. First of all, the presentation that Tony gave today, you see things are coming along really quickly. And most of that was due to the partnership with Caltrans in getting the trade corridor enhancement grant for $67 million. And that just doesn't happen. That's a lot of work over a long period of time. So to shout out to Tony and to you, Grace, thank you. You've been a tremendous advocate for StanCog as a partner. When we were up there for the CTC hearing, Tony was there, Jose Luis, Rosa, and Gus Corey, our advocate, and everyone was there trying to work it. And again, it takes a village. I would tell anyone that wants to talk about the beautification, Paul Van Kenenberg has been really instrumental. He's got a small group of people from Modesto. I know he'd love to hear from anyone that wants, and then to staff generally here at StanCog. I know that, things are coming at you fast, and PRAs and all the other work. We still have to continue to do our work. I appreciate every one of you for what you do on our behalf.
I have a report regarding Measure L project update that we were asked to bring monthly. Our highlight for the month is the Neighborhood ADA Improvement Program currently under construction. This project is budgeted for $600,000 to enhance ADA accessibility in residential neighborhoods and around schools in various neighborhoods around town. These areas include Stockard Coffee Elementary, Agnes Baptist Elementary, Sonoma Elementary, and Prescott Junior High, and several additional areas. And then on back to our new staff member, I'd like to welcome Franklin. Thank you for joining our staff. And I want to give a special thank you to Elizabeth Hahn for stepping up under extremely difficult circumstances and giving us answers to questions when we have them, and continuing with our agenda reviews for the meetings as we have always had, and continuing to work really diligently to make the work go forward in the midst of this situation that we're currently in.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, we're going to take a quick, just a few minute break so that council can meet with Supervisor Greenwell, just real quick.
Sure. He's very knowledgeable. He knows code enforcement. Yeah, he's a reserve up in stock.
No, because we're still in open session. We're reconvening back from a break. And we are going into closed session. Before we do that, council has something. Oh, where's Rocha?
Thank you.
Oh, not yet. Okay, now we're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Upon further conversation with a member of the board, pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.2, subsection B, subsection 2, there is a need to take an immediate action, and that need for action came to the attention of the local agency after the agenda was posted. To add the item to the agenda will require a motion and a second, and at least a 2/3 vote of the members present to add the item. The item the board will consider adding to the agenda is as follows. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Government Code Section 54956.9, case. I would need a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion.
And I second it.
I got a first and a second. However, we do need to go to public comment. Yes. Any public comment?
Just need that repeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, they didn't know it was still an open session and could you repeat? Or what? Or
Yep, sure. Would you like me to restate everything?
If you would.
So upon further discussion with the board member and pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.2, there is a need to take immediate action, and that need for action came to the attention of the local agency after the agenda was posted. The item the board will consider adding to the agenda is as follows. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Government Code Section 54956.9, case. We have a motion by Member Graywell and a second by Member Scutia Brayton.
Now we'll have public comment. Any public comment? Anything online? Okay, I'll bring it back to the board. And Cindy, we're going to do a roll call.
Member Chiesa?
Aye.
Member Graywall?
Aye.
Chair Condit?
Aye.
Member Condit?
Aye.
Member Withrow?
Aye.
Vice Chair Carr?
Aye.
Member Wallen?
Aye.
Mr. Brayton?
Aye.
Member Wright?
Aye.
Member Graham?
Aye.
Member Gilbert?
Aye.
Alternate Member Roque?
Aye.
Member Hernandez?
Yes.
And Member Coach?
Aye.
Motion.
Yep, motion passes. And we are going to go into closed session if you.
Yep, so the board will be adjourning to closed session to discuss items 12A and 12B, public employee recruitment and conference with labor negotiators. as identified on the agenda. In addition, the board will be adjourning to discuss the item just added, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, one case.
Any public comment? Anything online? All right. We'll be adjourning into a closed session. Okay, we are reconvening from closed session and there is no reportable action. We'll be adjourning.